Mary Anna Jackson asks, when did you realize that you were musically inclined? Well, it was a very musical household. I had a lot of musical lessons in a wide variety of instruments, starting with the violin, then to the trumpet, the saxophone, the piano. Keyboards and guitar are what I settled on for composition because I find it the easiest to use those to compose music with.
Well, I don't know if I ever had the conscious thought of, wow, I'm really musically inclined. What I do know is that in my early teens, I became obsessed with playing the guitar. I became obsessed with rock and roll and heavy metal music. So at that time, I just spent all my free time when I wasn't at school listening or playing music, trying to get better at that.
Mary Anna, I would say that I probably never actually had a physical realization. I've just always liked to sing. So when I started talking, I kind of started singing at the same time, and anything I heard on the radio, I copied. I've always had an amazing memory for lyrics and melody, and music has just always been a massive part of who I am, really.
I would say at about 12, pretty much. That's when I remember writing my first song. I just kind of fell in love with creating music at one point. I studied music as a kid, like as a little kid, but it was sort of, I wouldn't say it was expected of me because of my family. It was never, no one ever forced music on me at all. But I think school forced it on me. You know, I was interested in taking piano classes, but I took them, but I hated the teacher. It was kind of a very sort of like rough, old school kind of way of teaching, you know, slap your knuckles with the ruler and practice, 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 and no soul in it. So I quit that, tried a few other instruments, played the flute, played the bagpipes for a little while. It's true, really did. And then, you know, Robert Stigwood, my godfather and, you know, the brother's manager, he had given me a piano when I was a little kid. I had that with me still, and I started messing around with it by myself. I just started writing. And that was it. And so I started teaching myself to play. And for a while I was actually a pretty good pianist. I'm really not so much anymore because I play to write and I play very, very simplistically. I fell in love with the guitar a couple of years later, so about 15, and then fell in love with blues. So now I'm just rambling on about it. But yeah, I was about 12.
For me, it would have to be when my dad used to take me on drives. He used to just say, you know, Adam, do you want to go for a ride? And I was 4 or 5 years old. I'd be like, yes, please, you know. I remember sitting in his car and you were so small that you just kind of looked up and all you could see is out the window. He used to play like his favorite music, you know, ABBA, the greatest hits or something that was out, maybe early 80s. And I used to just listen to the music and see outside, and I almost put the music to real life, or it was just this, you know, you get an emotion or a feeling about the music and what you were seeing out the window. When I think back, you know, of course at the time, you know, you don't realize that that's anything. We're all sort of born with it to a degree, but I think that's what I would have to say, that's the moment where I realized it.
I might have been 8 years old. And I remember singing this, but Kylie Minogue came out with a movie, I want to say The Delinquents, and that guy from the Ferris Bueller show was in it as well. The song Tears on My Pillow was in that, and she did a remake of it. And I remember I would just listen to it over and over again, and I sat in my bed one night, my dad was tucking me in, and I said, you know, can you listen to me sing a song? I sang that to him, and it was the tears on my pillow. That song. Yeah, so I sang the song to him. He told me this later, but he went downstairs after that and told my mom, like, oh my God, she can sing. Like, I can't believe, like, she can really sing. I always loved hearing that story because he just told me, he's like, very good, love, you know. And I'm thinking, okay, my dad, you know, he's gonna tell me, you know, that he loves me and that I'm doing such a great job. But yeah, he actually really thought I could sing. So.
All right, Vicky Von Holten would like to know boxers, briefs, or commando? You're naughty. You're very naughty. And the answer is commando.
Vicky, what do you think? Nah, I'm briefs. Like boxer briefs. I'm actually boxers and briefs. I'm a little bit long.
Tighty whities when I was young. Tried boxers. Hated it because it just was not enough support. And then commando would be, you know, virtually there's no support, so definitely not happening. And so I'm a boxer brief guy.
Boxers, briefs, or commando? I would say hardly ever briefs. I'd have to be in a very masochistic mood. Mostly boxers. I'd have to say when I'm in a very, very good mood. I mean, I'd have to be ecstatic. Well, then it's behind enemy lines?
It's either Commandos or Briefs.
Depends on the mood. Vicky Von Holten. Yeah, it really does. I wear all three at certain times in my life. So.